Hello, active and attractive ladies. How are you guys feeling today? Oh my gosh, I am so excited to be here with you guys today because we're going to be shifting gears a little bit based on what we've been doing so far in our Facebook group. And if you are new to the conversation we're holding, if you're new to this space, if you have never seen me before, I just want to invite you in because we are having big conversations. We're not keeping things small. We're not keeping things light. And to be honest with you, Lindy, you were finally able to make it live. What's up, friend? How are you? Oh my gosh, I'm so happy you were able to come. We aren't doing things small here. We do things big. And today I've got a conversation that brings chills to my body as I think about explaining this concept to you. And the intention is that we are building on the conversation that we've been having over the last month now. We've been about a month deep into talking about new themes, new ways of seeing ourselves as leaders, and also making sure that we're preparing ourselves for the new upcoming year in a way that allows us to honor where we're at and get very, very excited for where we're going. So I would just want to welcome you guys as you're showing up live. Tanya's here. Hello, ladies. If you're commenting, I will double check here in just a second to see if the comments are working, because sometimes on my phone, it does not work right away. So guys, I'm very thrilled to talk to you. Sorry, I haven't caught up yet. Hello, gorgeous. I see your comments here on my computer. So let me pull this up first so I can keep live. And then when it passes over to my phone after probably takes about 10 minutes, then we'll be able to communicate here virtually through the phone. So ladies, how are you guys doing? If you haven't caught up, that's okay, Lindy. Like I said, if you're new to this conversation, we're talking big things. I'm not a superficial person. If you haven't met me before, the reason I talk big is because I know your dreams are big. I know the things that you are called to, the purpose, the mission, the life that you desire for yourself and for the world around you is much bigger than where you're currently standing. And in order for us to pursue a life that's big, a big life, a bold life, an exciting life, a fun life, a calm life, a life full of peace, we have to have big conversations, because typically when we stay small or we speak small, we stay small. So today's conversation is big because this is the theme that I want you to think about as you're pursuing what it is that we've been talking about. A lot of you guys have goals that makes sense for the world that you're wanting to build for yourself personally. And some of the goals that you carry are much bigger than you. They're global. They impact your city. They impact the world. They impact cultures. They impact community. A lot of times when you're responsible for an industry, you might be an expert in the industry that you're in. If you feel responsible for that industry, you're a leader. If you know that you feel called to families and helping other people, whether it's children or parents or the culture and the way that people communicate between themselves, you're a leader. If you have vision for any aspect of business and the way that people show up, whether it's corporate or entrepreneurial spaces, if you know that you have a gift for people and servicing people, you're a leader. It doesn't matter what it is that you feel called to do. It's the fact that you are meant to do it. And you know by the way that you sleep at night that you're called to something greater than what you're currently doing. And if you know this is in your bones, I want to say that this is a space for you to continue to sharpen what it is that you're called to do and the skills that are required in order for you to do it. So let me go dive into the comments. Let me open this up. Tanya made it. What? What's going on, Tanya? Hello. I've been recovering from a cold, Lindy says, and I'm prepping for Thanksgiving. So this is a very particular time of the year. And like I said, the reason that we're talking now versus waiting until January to talk about your big dreams, the things that you want to achieve in your health, the things that you want to achieve in your home, the things you want to achieve in your relationships, your business and beyond. The reason, by the way, we've got some curly plants going on in the background right now. The reason we're focusing on this now and not waiting for January is because we want to make sure you're prepped up. You're good to go. You're so targeted and focused on what it is that you want to achieve that you're not asking yourself at the beginning of the year, wait, what am I supposed to be doing? Wait, I need to prepare this for myself. We're preparing now because The idea is that at the beginning of the year, you feel like you're entering into a full, fresh, new year. Potent, guided, directed, focused, ready for your next step. And you're not coming from a deficit, but you've done the pre-paving to make sure that when you press go, you're eager, you're confident, and you're sure about what it is that you're going to build next year. So I want to hear from you guys. We've got 2 Tanyas in the house. I want to hear from you ladies. As we've been talking over the last few weeks, Lindy, I know for sure that you made it to the live where we were talking about goals, right? What is it that you know that you're feeling called to in 2024? Okay. Santanja, I know that you were on the more recent master classes where we got a little bit more specific about overcoming the struggles that are keeping us from where it is that we want to go. And Tanya, I'm not quite sure if you've been able to catch up, my friend, but I want to hear from you ladies. What are some of the visions you have for yourself in 2024? What are some of the visions that you have for yourself in 2024? The reason I like for you guys to speak with your mouth, or in this case with your thumbs, when you can speak what it is that you want, you are communicating that you know where it is that you're going. When you can verbalize the direction that you're meant to go in, the direction that is calling you, what matters to you, what you feel in your chest, when you can verbally state what it is that you're working to achieve, this is a very strong place to be as a leader. I know for myself, most of my life as a business owner, as someone very hungry to be a solutionary for the world, as somebody that loves to help people, as someone that really wants to be present with what it is that I'm supposed to do, I've always been a little loose in my ability to really say what it is that I wanted. And there's a few reasons for that. Most of my life, I don't know if you guys can relate to this. Tell me if you know what I mean. Most of my life, I've lived from like my chest. When I think about all the times I take out overthinking, and I'm not trying to logic everything out, when I'm really honest with myself, I've really lived from this place of just knowing that I'm supposed to speak to this person in this way, or if it's a really bold day, I'm supposed to go up to a person and say something to them, ask them a question. If I see someone sitting by themselves in a group setting and I just want to talk to them and make sure they feel included, it's like I feel it right here, and it's just like I'm supposed to make sure they feel comfortable. If I've pursued business, a lot of my business endeavors in the past have come from the best I could just guess to do, the best that just felt right for me. And it wasn't the best strategy. It wasn't the smartest thing. It wasn't always the most dialed in offer. But when I gave it my effort, it always felt like it came from here. Let me know if you guys know what I'm talking about. What's been so beautiful in my pursuit of being an entrepreneur is that I know what it feels like when I'm supposed to do something good. I know what it feels like. And my biggest limitation was when someone would come up to me and they would say, "Why are you doing that? Why are you doing it that way? Well, what's the purpose of that? That's not going to make you a lot of money. How are you going to make that happen? That sounds really hard." Yeah. Tell me if you relate to this, ladies. I would love to hear. Do you know what I'm referring to? Because a good majority of my life has been built off of feeling. And if it were just me with me, I would just go and do things and trust and enjoy the process and see what happens from my efforts. In a very raw form, at a young age, this was me being a newborn leader. A woman who felt a calling in her chest. Some of you guys might feel it in your gut. A woman who knows that there's a feeling she has that she's supposed to lean into, and she's ready and willing to see what the results are. This is the making of a new leader. And if this is you even today, if you know what I'm referring to, what this means is it is in your nature to create and be willing to perform change. There's enough curiosity in your body. There's enough love and willingness to see what's going to happen if I follow this. I know there's something that I'm supposed to do in this direction. This is a beautiful place to start as a leader. The problem is that when others come into your equation and they start asking you questions about your intentions, about the outcome, about where it is that you're going, if you do not have enough confidence in the feeling that you have in your body that's telling you where to go, the aura of your direction will slowly diminish into nothing. And most likely, it's going to cause you to stop. This is something that we don't want as leaders. And ladies, if you think about some of the big dreams that you have for yourself, I want to know how many of your dreams died because the right people asked the wrong questions. Let me know if you know what I'm talking about. I see Santanja's like, I can relate. It's a very defeating feeling, but you know it here. It's like, I can't bring it to words, right? It's like, I can feel it. I can't describe it. I can't even see a picture. I just know. And I trust and I believe and I want to follow this feeling because it feels so good. If this is you, you are at the first level of being the most powerful leader the world's ever going to see. But when the world asks more, when the world asks for clarification, when the world asks what and why and how, you don't always have to have the answer. But I have to say, from my experience, when you do, you become unstoppable. Ladies, this journey is like climbing a mountain. And there's going to be many, many reasons as to why you turn back. There's going to be many, many reasons that are going to cause you to question yourself and ask yourself, are you sure? And people who love you are going to be asking the same questions because out of their love, they have fear for your well-being, for your safety, for your ability to thrive. And if they can't see what you feel, they're going to challenge it. But the next layer of leadership is you doing the work to figure out what's the clarification? What is the answer to the question you're asking me? How am I going to do this? What is this? Why is this? What if it fails? What do I want to do? Why do I want to do it? If we really ask ourselves the question, when we find it, we can verbalize it. And we can breathe life into it. It's a solidified ground that you get to stand on when you have the ability to verbalize what it is that you're going for. The feeling is the raw, untapped potential of what you're meant to create on this planet. And when you can verbalize it, it's just that much more manifested. So I want to ask you, ladies, for what's coming up for you. What are your goals? Unfortunately, it's not sturdy enough to say, well, I kind of think that it might be maybe. You can't build from that, but you can start with that. And if that's where you're at with some of your goals, I want you to know it's okay. You're just at phase 1. And I want you to feel confident in being able to state, what is it that you're here for? What is it that you're building? Where is it that you're going? Why do you want it so bad? Why? And if your why is just like, I don't know, but I trust this, you're going to go so much further. So let me see what you ladies are saying down here. Let me see if you guys have any good things. Happy Thanksgiving, Tanya. It's going to be a great holiday. Becoming a speaker. Santanja said it. So, Santanja, when you say these things, so it shall be. Now, what we're going to talk about today is the Mountain of Embodiment. There are a lot of skill sets, a lot of gifts, a lot of abilities, a lot of things that you are going to have to do. Remember, actions build worlds. When we act, we create. So in order to embody becoming a motivational speaker, what that means is that there is going to be a list of skill sets that you are going to have to be willing to walk towards, no matter what it looks like, in order to make that happen. And we'll talk to you about that today. Okay, so you stated it. You told me. You tell me. I can't tell you who you're going to be. No one can tell you who you're going to be. You tell us. Who are you? I'm going to be a motivational speaker. I love it. Lindy says, I think the main goal I need to work on is body and home. Yes, because this is where I feel needs the most healing work right now. And Lindy, I would love to hear your feedback if you decide to watch the previous videos. We've taken that conversation and we've narrowed it down to some more actionable steps. So I would love to hear what comes out of that for you in the distilling process, so we can get some tangible actions to begin to apply to what we're going to be talking about today. So like I said, ladies, all of these lives, they build on top of each other, and you get to watch at your own leisure. I want you to feel like you can sit and binge these and workshop yourself into a place of tangible action so that you can start to create your leadership today. So body and home for Lindy. I love that you know what that's going to do for you. If someone said, hey, you need to focus over here because for whatever reason they have an opinion on what your life is supposed to look like, what your world is supposed to look like, you get to say, I hear you. Thank you for your opinion. Thank you for your perspective. But right now I'm focusing on my body and home. What would they say next? Why? Because that is where I feel needs the most healing and work right now. Yes, ma'am. This is the level of internal personal power that we want to generate for ourselves, for us to stay focused on what we're meant to build, and for us to communicate to other people where our attention lies, where our energy lies, and where it is that we're going to be focusing on today. That's so important so that we don't get distracted and we stay focused on what it is that we're building in our lives. Santanja says, focusing on aligning myself with my knowing. I call it re-knowing myself on a higher level and aligning my heart and mind. Girl, that is so beautiful. I think that's so important. Lindy says she says, I feel like I've been tapping into that more the last year or so. I've been stuck in the logic, and it's felt lately in my body has been revolting against that line of thinking. And feeling peace when I actually do what I want in my core want to do rather than should do. Shoulds do not exist. Don't should me. Don't tell me what you should do. I will call you out on that. Wait, are you sure that's what you're supposed to do? And it's all in good fun, because when we walk with what we know, we walk different. We show up different. We speak different. Things breathe into existence when we say it with what we know that we want. And so if you notice a should happening, I want you to integrity check that and ask yourself, is this leading me towards what it is that I'm currently focusing on? If not, I can either pin it for later or cross it off of my to-do list, because I don't do things that I should do. I only do things that have fulfillment and purpose. That's so good, Lindy. Something of what you said reminded me of this. To climb Everest, you stay at the base camps in different elevations. You stay at the lower one, climb up a certain way to expose yourself to the elevation and then return to camp. I always love this analogy. Climbers must do this several times before heading to the next camp up the mountain, to which they must do the processing again. That is why you guys are going to love today's conversation, because this is the nature of the journey you're about to embark on as you build your world for 2024. What we're looking at is we're saying you are committed to something. You're committed to building something. We've even addressed that if you know that your something is something out there, we want to build your world so that you're supported, so that your home is in a great place, so that your relationships, your body, and the infrastructure of your business is in such a sturdy place that you can face the highest mountain that you desire to climb. So with that analogy, Lindy, I'm so glad you brought that up, because this is exactly what we're going to dive into today. And that model is what allows us to self-regulate as we expose ourselves to more challenging things, knowing that everything's working for us and we're meant to learn lessons from whatever we touch. So thank you for sharing that, because that's super, super good. I definitely need to watch the previous one. Knowing and going runs together. I love that, knowing and going. That's so good. So guys, in asking what it is that you want, in asking who it is that you want to be, in knowing the intention is that if you haven't translated the feeling of what's calling you, your intuition, your guide, your spirit, your knowing, if you know there's something, but you haven't been able to verbalize that, I want to challenge you and ask, how much of you knows versus how much of you is not willing to admit? This is two different things, but I want to just drop that here as a seed to plant for you to explore. Most of the time, 99.9999999, I didn't know I could roll my nines that fast, 9% time, we know what we want. If we are not allowed or allowing ourselves to admit what we want, all that is fear. And fear is part of the journey of climbing the mountain of embodiment. So, when I ask you, what do you want? I'm not asking, what's in your way? Why aren't you doing it yet? What's wrong with you? How could you? I'm not asking that. When I ask you, what do you want? I want you to separate the journey from the destination for now. What is it that you want? I want to be a motivational speaker. Perfect. How are you going to get there? I don't know yet. I'm freaking out inside. Okay. When we say where it is that we are in the journey to what it is that we want, now we get to just be able to pinpoint on the map, I'm here, but I want to go here. In the active and attractive world, if you ladies haven't heard me describe what the brand name, where the brand name came from, it's that originally, as a fitness coach, I realized that my clients who decided they wanted to be physically attractive went on a very deep emotional and internal journey of actively showing up to fitness and actively doing the work to eat correctly and try to manage their stress. And it ended up turning into a very active internal journey. Because who you have to be to show up to the gym regularly, to cook your own foods, to choose the healthy choices when you'd rather drink your alcohol, when you had to choose peace over stress, that changes you. And most people are uncomfortable with admitting that that is a hard process because they think that fitness is just supposed to be a box that you check. Now, what happens when you master your internal experience, fitness becomes boxes that you can check. But the process to getting there is not that easy. So when they did the active work, the fitness, the food, the rest, they ended up doing active internal work. And what happened is their journey became a journey to external, intrinsic, energetic attraction. They became attractive at a level that was so much bigger than the physical attractiveness that they wanted in the beginning. I've seen my clients go from going on their first dates after years, losing 50, 60 pounds, going into promotions in their companies that they weren't able to reach before, all because they did the work that was required to show up in the gym, and it allowed them to see a different self outside of the gym. Ladies, everywhere you are, there you are. And so the work that you do is not to achieve just the goal that you want. It's a process of embodying a set amount of skills that you get to take everywhere you go. So active and attractive is doing the active inner work with external reflection in order to get an internal attractiveness that ends up producing a body or a life that's externally attractive. Ladies, the idea here is that we're developing you as a full-blown leader. Whether you're pursuing the body quadrant to lose weight, to get healthier, to drop disease, to feel like your hair is more full, to help your skin glow, to reduce stress, or you're working in the home quadrant to clean up your space, to declutter, to make sure you're decorating and making your bedroom a sanctuary. If you're wanting your relationships to thrive, to feel deeper, more intimate, more connected, to have more adventure, to play with people, to speak your mind, to speak your voice, to do more in relationships, or you're desiring to build a business, to create your identity, to help your company, to do more things that require your gifts and your skills, no matter where it is that you're wanting to focus. Everything that is required for you to complete building your world are the same skills that are required for you to utilize in changing the world. Santanja's ability to master her speaking, her motivational nature, her positivity, her ability to stand next to others in her relationship quadrant is going to be the same skills that are required for her to show up on stage, to write books, to be seen on camera, to interact as a local celebrity. Everything you ladies do to build your world, it's not a one-time thing. The work that's required is the same work that's going to translate into your biggest, wildest dream. So I want you to think of your pursuit towards your greatness. And when I say towards your greatness, there's two versions. It's the version of you that is so full in your world that your world supports you, you feel alive, you're full of energy, you know who you are, that you bring that version of you everywhere you go. To the grocery store, to the boardroom, to the Facebook Live, to the podcast episode, to your family's house for the holidays, in the airport, sitting on the plane next to someone. Everywhere you stand, ladies, you have an atmosphere that speaks stories about your journey, your embodiment, your process for you. Tell me who you know. I want to ask you, ladies, who do you know? Who's one person that you think of that you're like, when I see them, I want to know more about her, or I want to be around her. Who in your life or on television, an author that you love reading books from, somebody that represents something. I want to ask you, ladies, who is it that you just look at and you're like, she's amazing. Who is that in your life? I want to ask you, who is that in your life? This is a fun question because I want you guys to see. I want to show you the mirror to what I mean when you hear me say energetically attractive. Santanja says the should word, minimize action back to thought process, not progress. Yes, Thanks for making me realize this. You're so welcome. Ladies, who in your world that you look up to or admire, or their qualities or characteristics that you just look at them and you're like, oh, I want that. I want to be like that. I want to learn more from her on that. I would love to hear. Santanja says, all of the above. Let me see if you ladies are able to claim your adoration or your attraction towards people who are really potently themselves. I want to see. Lindy says, Michelle Wilkinson, she's so strong in faith. So you see this woman, Lindy, and it's the way she carries her faith. It's the way she probably talks. And it might not, you could probably tell by the way her posture is. She knows something that she hasn't said yet, right? You can see by the way she carries her, like maybe it's her clothing style or the relaxation she carries in her body language. There's something in her demeanor that you're looking at and you're like, I don't know what it is about you, but you. I want to hear who else. Who else do you guys admire, and what about them do you admire? Who do you admire, and what about them do you admire? Let me think of someone. Oh, because I've got a laundry list. Ladies, Maya Angelou for me is like, she is it. It's the way she sits, like she just knows that she knows everything that she knows, and she's not even trying to impress. She's just like, you want to ask me a question? She's not flashy. She's just rested in wisdom. And you could tell she prioritizes herself because she may have had a season in her life that in her younger years, she probably tried to run after people. And you could just tell in her life, she's decided, no, I'm going to let you guys come to me. And I'm available for you whenever you ask. That's before she even shares her poems and her wisdom and her laugh and all of it. I just see her and I'm like, you've seen things. That just gets me every time. Yeah, so Lindy says she's aggressive. It actually intimidates me, but she's aggressive in faith. I like that. Santanja says you walking in your truth and confidence in a celebrity would be Tina Turner. That. I love you. Thank you. Tina Turner. It's me and Tina Turner. Girl, don't put me next to Tina Turner. Like, I don't even know what to do with that. Thank you. I'm like, yes. Yeah, Tina's got the energy and she's just, oh my God, Rachel Jenks, I admire you all walking in your identities. There's something in there. When you look at them, you're like, they've got something. Sometimes we look at people, ladies, and we don't know what it is yet that we like in them. But we're just like, you. It's kind of like me with interior design. I couldn't tell you why I like looking at a specific room, but I'm like, this room's good. I couldn't put this together, but I see this room, it's good. It's pretty, it's clean, it's nice. When we don't know language yet, it's still here. And that's all you need to start. But the reason I want to share this with you, guys, before we move forward in the next month with what we're going to be talking about, is because recognizing that every leader, each lady that you listed, is some form of a leader. She's necessary to be who she is, to ignite her perspective, her passion, her love for what she loves in other people. Ladies, as leaders, you have the same capacity for change. You do. You do. Now, what you might not realize already is that you are already doing this. It might be in areas of your life, unbeknownst to you. It might be in a way that you might not feel like is as valuable, but for other people, they don't have that gift yet. And it might be in something that you actually learn to not like about yourself. But the truth is boo-boo. It's just who you are. And we need that aspect of you. Ladies, when we look at increasing and enhancing our leadership, becoming more potent, more aligned, healthier, happier, more genuine, and willing to create change around the world with as little effort as possible, what I want is that you look at yourself as a leader who elicits an aura everywhere that you go. Lady Maya Angelou, Michelle Wilkinson, Tina Turner, me, Berlin Byers, Rachel Jenks, all of these people, their atmosphere, when you see them across the room, it speaks for them before they do. Lindy, your atmosphere to me speaks quiet confidence. It speaks sensitive. It also speaks aggressive. I don't know if you know this, but you've got a fierceness. It's the fierce type of aggressive, the untapped mama bear, protective, like in a fiery, I think of like a woman with a bow and arrow and there's like a fire on the tip. Like, I don't have the words. I don't know how to describe you, but you've got a level of fierceness in you that I don't know if that is reflected back to you often from the world yet. It is so there. But the idea, ladies, is that we want to be so embodied with who we are that our aura, our atmosphere is also represented in our thoughts, our feelings, our words, and our actions. What keeps us unhealthy is when the identity of who we are, that essence that we walk around with everywhere we go, when our truest essence is not congruent with the actions that we're taking, the people we're hanging out with, the things that we're doing, the way that we're spending our time, when all of those things are out of balance, we don't feel anything but pain. It feels like we're not living to our fullest potential. It feels like we're missing something, like everyone else has things and we don't. It feels off. And it's difficult to put words to, but this is what it is. Santanja, you've got a similar fierceness as what I'm trying to describe with Lindy, but yours is more the type that's ready to bust in a room and say, guys, we're ready to be better. Like, I'm not asking you. We're here to be better. And I see you and I see you. You've got an eye for people. You're able to see greatness in people. You're able to bring the energy up in a room without even trying. You don't even have to speak. And there's just a larger vibration, a larger resonance in the room when you walk in. You've got a joy on you that is, I don't have words. These are only parts of your aura that stand out before you even speak. And I want you to know that that's there. What we want to do is we want to fill the gap between thought, feelings, words, actions, and close it where what your aura speaks is the same as how you're thinking, feeling, speaking, and doing. And then Tanya Rollman, girl, your essence has such a nurturing element. All of you, all three of you guys here on the live, you all have a very nurturing element. Tanya's is the type that's warm and cradling. And I get a level of fierceness from you too. But yours is fierceness and care. and support and what else do I feel on you? It's like it's a come here into me kind of energy. That layer is only part of who you are. But that is of essence things that are picked up every time you come in. I'm sure people come to you, Tanya, and they tell you things that you're like, why are you telling me this? I just met you. These types of things happen for people whose identity, their nature, their aura is speaking to other people's before they even open their mouth. Ladies, all of us have different bits, and that's why all of us matter. We all offer something a little bit different naturally. But what we want to do is we want to start uncovering these elements of our identity, because if we don't claim this about ourselves, we can't speak with confidence. And so I might notice what Tanya's doing and try to mimic her. I might see what Tina Turner's doing and try to mimic her. Parts of who we admire is already within us, but we're also called to do it our way. This is how we become healthy feminine leaders, is that we operate in identity or in congruence with our identity, and we make sure that we move in a way that feels good to us. From that standpoint, our thoughts, our feelings, our words, and actions are all in alignment. So when we take action, and we do, to build a world that's right for us and what we see fit for the world, we end up producing a very healthy and congruent environment. Now, the way we do this, Lindy was going to say, Mama Bear, yes, girl. I just don't know how to walk in it. I feel that I'm aggressive. Then I'm going to continue to be mean or start arguments, and I hate arguing. So typically, ladies, our gifts have, like, here's the center, here's the aligned version. We either underexpress in our gifts because some point in our childhood we were told not to do that. You might be outspoken, loud, and someone told you to be quiet. And as a kid, you were like, okay. And so now your gift, your essence is squished, right? Or it was overexpressed. Maybe someone told you not to do something and you over-rebelled, over-exaggerated this version of you. And now it feels like this persona you have to keep up, or you don't know how to stop because you lose control over it. We can talk about all of these things as we go, but I want you guys to recognize that you have an atmosphere, you have an aura, and we want to develop internal with the inner work. We want to develop these identities within you. Okay, so I'm going to share this final piece, and I want to talk to you about what the Mountain of Embodiment is. If you hear me say this, the Active and Attractive brand has a logo. I don't post it everywhere. One day I probably will, but it has a logo. This logo came to me about 4 or 5 years ago, and it has never left, and the meaning of it has developed over time. The logo looks like this. Okay. So, ladies, I've always seen for the work we're meant to do, the idea that we're on a journey. You're on a journey. And all of us, as Lindy said, starts down here at the bottom. We start at the bottom of this journey. And the idea is that we're supposed to walk up this mountain. Okay. So every time I would draw this logo out on paper, as I was brainstorming what's next for, what action I'm supposed to take next in the brand, I'd always put a little stick figure right here at the bottom. And it's like, yay, oh God, here's this mountain that I need to climb. Now, just like fitness, exercise, or trying to restrict ourselves with some kind of food, it feels like work, okay? But the idea, the mission, is that when we walk up the mountain, even when it's hard, we've decided where we're going and why. Now, what's the benefit? What's the point of taking this path from bottom to top? When you walk any path, in your internal work, and you're going to have many, many mountains to climb, because the truth is this job never stops. And every time you reach a pinnacle in leadership, you're going to find that there's more you get to embody. But when you walk up this mountain and you get to the top, you master what it is that you're called to embody. The skill sets of being a personal motivational speaker, the skill set of leading your children with patience. When you embody the pathway of being a woman who walks around in peace, when you embody someone who's finally living a healthy and active lifestyle, when you finally embody what it means to step out into the world and use your voice. When you master the mountain of embodiment, you stand at the top and you radiate for all the world to see. The top of this logo is meant to represent the aura that you create. When you finally feel like you're standing in confidence around a skill that you used to have and it got diminished, when you finally radiate in a technique or a method in how you show up that you learned, that you know is going to bring more intelligence to the mission you're meant to build. Or when you finally accept who it is that you really are. The idea, ladies, is that everywhere you walk, you carry your world with you. And when we don't feel good about certain skill sets, we don't put ourselves out into the world. When we don't feel confident in an identity or who we are, we have this huge potential and it shrinks down to where our aura is really tight and small. But when we choose to start on this path, this journey, we end up walking all the way up to the top. And the beauty about being at the top is that there are so many other people on this planet that want to conquer the mountain of embodiment too. The path that you were so willing to try to find up the mountain that was so difficult, to use your voice, to build intimacy with your spouse, to conquer your weight, to overcome fear in anything that you can think of. When you finally get to the top and embody what it is that so many people admire, you're going to be a beacon of hope and radiate to everyone else that it's possible. This aura is what you're going to carry into the rooms that you walk into. This aura is going to be the thing that people speak about, and they're going to say, hey, I really admire you, and I don't know why, but can I ask you some questions? This aura is going to be like, I feel like you're going to understand me if I ask you this. Your aura is going to say, hey, can you tell me your story? Your aura is what people are going to feel in their chest, and they might not always have words to speak about who you are and what it is that you carry. But when you know who it is that you are and what you carry, and you can verbalize that back to them, you're going to encourage people that are curious to walk up the mountain too. Ladies, it is a responsibility to be a leader. And it is a responsibility to decide that you want to build your world. When you do this, the idea is that you're not responsible for creating people's change, but you are responsible for holding your own change, so that other people could decide if they want to take their path up the mountain and embody that. I want you to imagine a world where one woman decides to master her voice. And so then does another, and so then does another, and so then does another. And before you know it, you have a world full of women who are speaking their unique, special voice. Women who have lost weight, gained weight, gotten stronger, gotten more flexible, got more energy. A world where spouses and partnerships are deeper, more connected. Women are more confident in their singledom and walking around, living their best life, dressing how they want and feeling like their best self. Mothers who feel peace and ease or excitement and adventure in parenthood. There's a path that you like, that you want to go, and how you represent all of these categories of what we can do in this world. And the way you choose to do it, if you choose to do it, if you really choose to do it, what you're going to see is that you're going to end up representing that as a byproduct. But the only thing that the world is missing is that you don't hold back. You don't shrink your essence. Because before you even share what your story is and how you got up the mountain, you'll at least be a beacon that is possible. And this is the first stage to allowing people to see you as a leader. So Lindy says, aggressive peace. That's what came to my mind when I thought about what I want to bring into a room whenever I enter. Do you know how many people in this world, Lindy, are looking for peace? Who would have known you could have aggressive peace? I feel it. I know exactly what you mean when you say that. I could feel it. And it is your work to not just walk around saying, I'm aggressive peace, and you can't handle stressful moments, right? We have to be willing to walk, to fully embody. Embodiment is congruent thoughts, feelings, words, and actions. When you don't just seem like the woman who's got it all, but you actually become the woman who's got it all, there's hope for the rest of us. If you fake laugh everywhere you go, but you don't truly think, feel, speak, and act in humor and ease and joy, you're going to feel the dissonance in that. It feels like an imposter. It's like I'm not fully being what I say that I'm wanting to be, or I'm believing other people can be. Congruent leaders are able to do it all, but it requires work. And so it's me. I want peace. Infinity and beyond is the blessing and love. Yes. So ladies, when you see this logo, the purpose is that everything you want to achieve, you're going to have to start from the bottom. Everything you want to achieve, you're going to have to start from the bottom. And that is perfect. But as you slowly walk up the mountain and you encounter fear and you encounter struggle and you encounter ease and you encounter joy and you encounter all the parts that are going to come along the journey, I want you to remember your why. Your why is because I want to embody this so that I can ... When you allow that to be your truth, your motto, and your beckoning call, you get to the top of this mountain and you're going to feel fully magnetic in what it is that you're meant to represent. The way it should feel for you at that point, like mastering anything on this earth, is that it's a lot easier. It's easier to communicate. It's easier to represent. It's easier to teach. It's easier to share. And it's easier to live for you, which means you get to reap the benefits of your work and you get to enlighten others on how you made it happen, and they can decide for themselves how they want to make it happen. Tired of that feeling? Yes. So ladies, I communicate this to you because I want to say we have work to do. We have work to do. When I say actions build worlds, this means you must take action in order to climb that mountain. You can't think about the top of the mountain because you think you're imagining what it's like at the top. You haven't seen the view yet. You don't know. You've got to go find out for yourself. And when you take action, you will know. And the conviction that comes from your voice, from being the person that traversed the journey, when you communicate that process back to other people, whether it's your children, whether it's your friends, whether it's your clients, whether it's your boss, you can say, I know how to do this. I know how to be this. I know what it feels like. This is called compassion. And this is how you're able to hold space for people as they traverse the same path that you took. Ladies, we're in the information age. We're sharing our wisdom. And we don't want to speak as people who are sitting at the bottom of the mountain trying to tell them what the sunrise looks like at the top. We haven't seen it yet. So I want to encourage you as we look forward to 2024 and you decide, I want to change the world. Step one in that desire is we first have to build your world. We've got to equip you. Like you have a backpack on your back going up the mountain. We've got to equip you. Is your home space supportive of you? Are your relationships supportive of you? Is your body supportive of you? Is the infrastructure on the back end of your business supportive of you? Okay, if this is the truth, now we climb up the mountain. You're ready. You're ready to leave base camp. You walk up the mountain. And you go out there to see what you're really made of. And you're not alone. You're not alone. But you will find your own unique way up there. And when you're embodied, you're going to know that you know that you know. And other people are going to feel inspired to find their path to their own version of the embodiment. Right? So deep is where the gift is. Are they go with you in the radiance? Yes, they go with you in the radiance. So I'm ready. Ladies, we want to be attractive, energetically attractive. It's like a muse being the sirens on the side of the ocean. We don't want to make people crash their boats, but maybe they're in a bad boat and we want to encourage them to get a better boat. No, I'm just kidding. But we want to encourage people that it's possible, but we don't want to speak the motivational words. We want to be the people that walk the path. It's a completely different feeling. Now, last thing I'll say is that if you're afraid, yes, mermaids, I like it. If you notice when you're blindingly attractive and what it is that you're meant to be, when you are just so you, it will push people away. She's too bright for me. Those aren't your people. Don't worry about them. We'll talk about that down the road, but don't worry about them. Do not worry about those people. When you're shining at the top of the mountain, the beauty of your light is that it's going to call the people that are meant for you. Oh, they're going to be drooling. And it's also going to push away the people that are not meant to climb that mountain yet. So I want to encourage you on this path. If you notice people aren't sure on how to receive you, we will talk about this deeper. This is a part of the process. It's part of your embodiment process. But we'll get up to the top of your path. No problem. We're going to make it happen. All right? So I wanted to communicate this visual for you to get familiar with this branding. If you see it in the future, you'll know what the imagery means. I want you to imagine this as you are pursuing your own endeavors. And remember, you're not here to change people. You're not choking people into their greatness. You're calling people into your greatness by you being great first, which means you're happy, you're healthy, you're loving, you're love. And then as a byproduct, other people are going to feel so inspired. They're going to want to know more. That's how we create change around the world. All right. I'm so happy, Lindy. That makes me feel really good. Yeah, that's all God, girl. That's divine. So I want you ladies to try to mentally partner this. If you've done all of the work so far, I know sometimes I'm thinking, my girlfriend made this for me last year. And I just started writing in it because I was just I just love it so much. but I was wondering what it would be like to create a journal for us so that we could all have something to write in and just kind of keep that at the forefront of our minds as we're pursuing this, because, you know, life's not easy. So I appreciate you saying that. That means a lot. That's really cool. I'll have to consider what it would be like to create journals that we could all have. So I want you ladies to partner this picture, this visual, this display of what it means to go further in your life. And merch. I love that. The people spoken. All right, it shall be done. But I want you guys to partner this. So actionable clarity masterclass. We got very clear and very action forward on what it is that's going to prep you for your next mountain in 2024. And I want you ladies to partner this picture with, okay, if I feel like I'm in a controlling space, we talked about this last week, we kind of feel like we want to be in control. The only thing you can control is yourself, right? So if what you focus on is you, and you trust that the rest of this makes sense. Remember, Tina Turner and Maya Angelou, they don't know who we are, and we are looking at them goo goo gaga, right? If we know that that's a mechanism that works very well, then how can we position ourselves to be the same? The way you do that first is we're going to talk about how to build your world. And by the end of next month, we're going to have your world all built out. Another really fun visualization tool. Lindy, were you in there last time? I can't remember. I feel like you were. I don't know. The 3 days of, anyways, I'm not going to spoil it. So we're going to continue to talk about more aspects of leadership. And I just want you guys to partner this conversation next to the actions that we said you're going to be taking daily over the next 6 weeks. So continue to pursue your daily action so that you can start to prepare yourself for January 1st. If you don't know what your goal is or what it is that you're wanting to build next in the next season, in the new year, I want to encourage you to ask those questions when we're live or even in the Facebook group. Go back to the videos, watch those videos, learn, see what comes up for you. If you don't have clarity of words yet, try to feel into it to get a general theme of what you think is priority for you. Okay, we want to get priority first. And then from there, partner with this and try to find one daily action that's going to help perpetuate you into your next year. All right? So, okay, I think there's about 3 videos behind because we did 2 last week, and then you might be 4. We'll see. But yeah, so ladies, go back, get clear, keep taking your action. Remember, when you do things like meditation, Santanja's focused on meditation right now because she's working on releasing control, and she knows that when she releases control, she will be more prepared and primed to be a good motivational speaker. That's her climbing the mountain of embodiment of detachment, right? She's learning how to detach. So this is what the work looks like. It's action. So in that, I want to share more of the mental perspective that you can hang on to and hang all of your actions, your thoughts, your beliefs on that will hopefully support you as you pursue bigger and greater things. All right. So if you guys have any questions, you can feel free to ask inside of the Facebook group. If you guys want to work more closely together in any capacity, reach out. I've got a few programs. I haven't launched a whole bunch, but you're going to see some in the next couple of months. So we're going to lean into health and fitness as well. So we're doing it all of your worlds. Yeah, Linda, you'll really appreciate the last few videos then. We touched in on it, and I think it's going to help kind of loosen up some thoughts and things so that we can start to create that for you. So with that, ladies, I love you. I hope for those of you guys in America and who celebrate Thanksgiving, I just want to wish you guys a happy Thanksgiving tomorrow. And for everybody else, I hope you guys have a fantastic rest of your week. I cannot wait to continue this conversation. I've got a lot in store for you. So with that, here's to becoming more active and attractive. Thank you guys for spending your time with me today. And I'll see you guys inside of our group. All right, ladies, I love you too, Lindy. I love you. Love you guys. We'll talk soon. All right. Bye, guys.